Hey everybody, it's Birdie of Feed the Birdies, and I thought I'd hop on here real quick and give you a flip through of my December journal. This is the very first journal that I've made for myself. I usually either gift them or I've kept them and not finished them. But I decided this time in December I was going to make a journal for me, so I did. I used this book, The Most Beautiful Tree in the World, because New York City is my favorite place in the entire world, and I've been there several times, and this is the Rockefeller Center tree and the ice skating rink and everything, but it was a children's book about that. I love the Rockefeller Center area and everything about New York City, so it was perfect for me to do this. And one time, I will be in New York City for Christmas one day. I was hoping that was going to be this year, but it was not. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and get started. You can tell this is not a small journal. There are 4 signatures in it. It is the size of a Whitman book. The spine is probably 2.5 inches. I use this little crinkly ribbon trim that I got. I need to share the packaging with you, and then some lace underneath that, and then I use this vintage fabric for the spine. And then on the back, this is actually a Christmas napkin that I had, and then I added more of that crinkly ribbon and then a couple of vintage yo-yos that I just happened to find when I was looking for stuff to put in it. So I thought that was really cool. They just showed up. So here's the middle of it. I'm not finished writing in it yet. I've pretty much added most of the ephemera. I want to add receipts and a couple more things, but I've added most of the ephemera that's going to go in there. And I may add a little bit more lace to some of the pages. And then here's the top. So you can see, I just recently found these little candy picks at Hobby Lobby. They're cupcake picks. Uh-oh. That one just came apart, so I guess I'll be fixing that one. Anyway, I just recently found those, and I thought they'd be so cute for the book, so I put them in there. All right, so when you open it up, the cover is scrapbook paper, and I've used a lot of the ephemera that's available in my shop. For instance, this due date pocket. I haven't listed these yet, the postage labels. I think they're going to come out for Valentine's Day, but there's a strip of several of them. But I love having Mr. Zip on there. I think he's so cute. And then the first page of the first signature is the front cover of a coloring book. And then there was a little spot up here that was torn, and so I patched it and then added a piece of scrapbook paper. And this is a cutout from an old Christmas cutout, like paper doll kind of book. This is just a Denison tag with scrapbook paper. And I put vintage wrapping on the other side. And then this is part of Doodlebug's Christmas ephemera from a couple of years ago, I believe. Okay, so here's some new Tim Holtz paper. Neiman Marcus is one of my favorite places to go in the wintertime, especially when they get the store set up for Christmas. I've taken Kate to see Santa there every year for 9 years. This year we didn't make it, and it made us both kind of sad. But I collect a lot of vintage Neiman Marcus things. I have quite a bit. I'm obsessed with their shopping bags from as far back as I can find them. And then I also pick up their gift cards and envelopes, and I have some of their seals. And so anyway, I decided I was going to add a little bit of Neiman Marcus because we usually are there for Christmas. This is just some ribbon, like a lacy kind of ribbon. Here's a treat bag. I've had these for several years and never have used any of them. And I think I listed a few at one time, but never did list any more and kept them. These refreshment tickets are in my shop, and I only have a few left. I've got to be able to find some more of those because they're really neat. And with the color, that bright red is really great for Christmas and for Valentine's Day. And here's one of those cupcake picks from Hobby Lobby. And then this is bulletin board border that I picked up at a teacher's estate sale a long time ago. and most of it is worn and has like staple holes in it, but I love using it because of the character. And then you can also layer lace on top of that. Okay, so here's a journaling card I made with vintage wrapping, and I journaled about really wanting to be in New York City. And then this is another cutout from that book. This is vintage wrapping paper as well, and I just washi it in as a tip-in. This is a page from The Gingerbread Man. And then this is a copy, I believe it's from a Christmas play, and I put our tree information on there, but I've still got to put the tag from where we purchased the tree. This is old Christmas stationery that's in my shop. This is a pretty little studio die cut, lots of room to write, and I made a pencil board for my book because it's hard to write in a book like this. So if I put the pencil board in there, flip the page, and then turn the book this way, I can actually write in it, which helps a lot because it is so chunky. It's pretty much a gator mouth. This is vintage wrapping, some more bulletin board border, and some grosgrain pink ribbon. And this is our wrapping that we used this year. So these are part of the tags. This is the tissue, this is the velvet ribbon, and this is another roll of wrapping and a tag I had on Kate's gift, and this is the satin ribbon I used. So I went with a black and white and red theme. It was really pretty. These, a long time ago, on Instagram, a friend of mine was selling these, and I'm trying to remember her name, but they're fantastic. The Whitman's chocolate delivery tags, they are just great. This is a greeting card. I made a little side pocket out of it, put in another tag that's made of vintage wrapping. Here's the other end of that Whitman's receipt. This is a bank envelope and some vintage ribbon. This is a vintage copy page, and you'll see a lot of those in there that are Christmas related in the book. And then here is a page from, I think, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm not sure, but this right here, Kate and I were playing with the anagrams, and we got so tickled, and she was like, "Why are we so immature, Mom?" I said, "Well, because I taught freshmen for 20 years, that's why." This is a vintage piece of tissue paper that I can lift up and ribbon, and it's just clipped onto that page. This is a participation ribbon. This is a bow that my sweet little granddaughter Evie, who is 3, put on my package while her mama was wrapping. But the participant ribbon, for William's family's Christmas, we did a macaroni art contest, and so I'm gonna put all the journaling in here about the macaroni art contest because he actually won. He made a copy of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night into Starry Noodle, and he used all pasta to make it. He worked so hard on it, but it was really funny that he finished it, and I made a cigarette. And we don't really know why, just because it was funny. This is vintage wrapping. These are vintage charity stamps and a vintage Avery label, a vintage playing card. This is just a printed photograph. Here's some Neiman Marcus ribbon that I found one time in vintage wrapping, and I cut this girl out of a vintage Vogue counter catalog, and more ribbon. And I love these kitschy cards. So I did add a lot of greeting cards in here. And then there was writing on here from the other person that owned this card. So I put these girls here and said, "I didn't send any Christmas cards this year." And she says, "Well, me neither." So that was kind of our consensus this year. This is a photograph or a mimeograph copy of Oh Holy Night. I do have those in my shop, I think. If I don't, I need to list them. And by the way, there will be a lot of Christmas still coming into my shop because I am not done listing it. I didn't have time to get it all listed, and there's so much of it. And I may be doing some grab bags as well. So you'll get bags full of just all different kinds of things, whatever I find. This is an old flashcard, an old Cool Bit top. That's a Mrs. Grossman's sticker. and more just writing room. I thought I would put how much I spent here. And then I'm going to just kind of flip through and let you see now what I have. You'll be able to tell what most of the things are. This is a game piece from Uncle Wiggily, I think. This is from a seal packet. This is Denison, and I put a Mrs. Grossman sticker on top. A layaway tag. There's some more writing room. A coloring page from probably kindergarten, which I love, and I think I'm going to go in there and color it according to the instructions from the teacher. I think it's adorable. It's another stamp. This is more vintage wrapping, and I put polka dot, like raised polka dot paper on there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it just clips in there. This is part of Tim Holtz. This is a big tag that I have in there, a paper coaster. And I have a lot of old colored typing bond. That's also in my shop that I decided to add a few pieces in here because blue also was really popular color this year too. This is an old tag and more of that cute vintage wrapping and the polka dots on the back of it too. The rest of the Holy Night and the rest of the card. And another yo-yo. This is tea-dyed. This is vintage wrapping I made a pocket out of, and then I put one of my Christmas Carol books in. I have other Christmas Carol books that watch for the listing to come out. This one's really sweet. I love the colors at the top with each of the different Christmas carols. It's such a cute little book. So I put that in there. I only have one of those, I think. And then this is another pocket. This is another bow Evie put on my package. She calls me Birdie too. This is a vintage flashcard, vintage labels, and vintage charity stamps. I said I was going to quit talking, and here I am talking. More tissue, wrapping, and then green paper. This is a Denison Angel. I have a few of those, I believe, and just some ribbon. There's a hole where you could make a bunting, I think, from her or tie her, probably as an ornament, not a bunting, but as an ornament. And so I just put some vintage candy cane ribbon in there that was really cute. By the way, there's Christmas ribbon in my shop too. You get 7 yards for, I forget what I listed for, but it's a steal. And this ribbon right here is actually part of those 7 yards of ribbon. This is not cotton. It's almost like a polyester blend or a satin blend. It's really cool ribbon. Vintage rickrack wrapping. This is old dollhouse wallpaper, and many of you have probably had your packages wrapped in this because I had tons of red and white, white and red, and then pink and white. And I still have quite a bit of it. And it's in great big sheets. It's like it folds out into 4 8.5 by 11 sheets. So that's how large it is. This is the back of that coloring book. I put a label here. And then I did kind of a Franken paper, I guess, with this page and just stitched a whole bunch of wallpaper. This is a clip that I've had from one of the old scrapbooking lines for a long time. So I added that on there. But I love all these wallpapers, so that was fun to do. And then this is a sparkle gift tags, but then I found this mozzarella cheese label, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas colors. I'm gonna stick it inside that package. So I did. I just thought it was funny. Here's another sheet of vintage stationery that's also in my shop. This is vintage packaging tape. I don't know if you can see it, but it's shiny, has the old season's greetings. I really like that too. This is a bag from a stationery store. And then more mimeograph copies of Christmas songs, probably for a choir. This is also from Doodlebugs. Oh, and I was going to show you this too. This is a Doodle Pop, and they have several of those, but I love them. They're so cute. I have so many different ones, and so I was trying to pick and choose what to put in this one this time. This is actually green dyed paper, and I bought this on Etsy. I can't remember from who. I don't know if they use Kool-Aid or dye itself. This is interesting. This is another piece from that teacher's papers, the teacher's estate sale. And she had cut Christmas cards into patterns like this so the kids could put them together as a puzzle, which I thought was adorable. So I put a few pieces of that in here too. Here's another fabric flip. This is continuous sheet stationery that's almost a linen. It's a cotton, I think 25% cotton. This is also in my shop. Here's that pink and white doll house wallpaper. Then I made this little tag. And this is another piece of one of those teacher's puzzles. And this is another piece too. These two went together. And then some printed ephemera. I think this may be Tim Holtz. This is an old bank tag. I have these two guys labels in my shop too. A lot of you have bought those, so thank you for that. I still have quite a few on the roll, so if you haven't gotten any, there are still some there. I love this card. Then I fussy cut these trees out and then added the snowflake little cutout. I believe that came from Tim Holtz, I think. There's a vintage price tag and wrapping. Here's another page from one of the children's books, and I love that picture of Santa. I think I'll put the story of us visiting Santa for the last 9 years with Kate in there. Then this is a placemat. These are also in my shop in a variety pack, and you'll probably see a bright red piece of placemat in the listing. But I do add Christmas, and I also have St. Patrick's Day. I think a little bit of Easter, maybe just colors, and then some different Scott placemats that you might want to add to your collection. It's a really fun little pack to put together, and I go in and just cut them in half, and so you get lots of snippets of placemats, and placemats are really large, so you get pretty big pieces. This is another coaster and another coloring page. This is from an Ideals magazine, Pretty Little Studio vintage wrapping. This is from an Ideals magazine. I cut this bird out of an article from the Ideals magazine too, because I love birds, obviously. This is the rest of the coloring page in an Eskimo pie package. Some writing space. I used a lot. Whoops, I might have shut this page too quickly. I put this on the other day, and I hope it's still intact. We shall see, sort of. This is a glassine angel. I don't know exactly what it was for, other than it might have been an insert into Christmas cards, I would think, kind of like you do wedding invitations, but they're very pretty. And I decided to put it on this wrapping, but you can see I shut the page too soon on that one, but that's okay. All the books are going to have a little bit of errors and mistakes and things like that. This is the rest of the card. Another puzzle piece from that teacher's bunch. Here's another tag. And I believe I put wrapping on both sides, yes, of this too, and some ribbon. Isn't that snowman wrapping so cute? And I love the children's wrapping too that's on the top. This is scrapbook paper, and it's also a pocket. This is some gathered muslin trim. More writing room. Lots of writing room. Wrapping. The rest of the bag. cards and stuff in Dallas. That's where that bag came from. Here's more puzzle piece, and I'll probably add another one over here. I just like the way they are. They just add something, but they're so random and so abstract that they're just really cool to use in a book. This is the other side of that stationery, more dollhouse wrapping. This is actually a placemat. I didn't have very many of those, but I do have a few, so if you order the placemat pack, hopefully I'll be able to put one of those in there. And then I made a cluster with a yo-yo, vintage fabric, and some scrapbook paper here. This is pretty fragile, so I'm gonna have to go back in and fix this as far as where it attaches to the signature, because it has split all the way down. So I'll be doing that. This is part of a Christmas card. More charity stamps and lace. And this is an old Christmas letter. We'll see the date in a second. I want to say it's from like 1964 or something like that. And I picked them up, and the lady had saved every single year that she wrote a Christmas letter. So that was really a fun find. Another Christmas card, and I put a little flip up in here. This is a cutout from that Hallmark book. So I put him on the side and made him a little pocket with a playing card and little scraps of wrapping. And I put the little white ball on the back of his head on his hat. This is scrapbook paper. Here's another pocket. I put S&H green stamps in there. I thought I'll do something fun with that. You might have seen on Jess's YouTube page, Paper Terrace, she used one of these napkins that I sent her to make a pocket out of too. And she just made the cutest stuff. But you can go back and watch her videos, her Christmas videos, and like she was altering cards and doing all kinds of really cute things. This is the back of a Hallmark bag, and I made it a little, like a little slip-in belly band kind of thing off to the side. These jewelry invoices I will have available soon. That was a very exciting find. I was actually in McKinney, and you can see this is from the old jeweler in McKinney, Texas. But they were clearing out his estate, and in the desk drawer in the very bottom, and the desk was kind of buried behind empty boxes, so a lot of people don't look in things like that, and you really should. There was a big stack of these in the bottom of the desk drawer. And that was my favorite find of that estate sale. So these will be coming soon to the shop. You might have seen a few of them on Crafty Lisa's Vintage, because I sent some home with her the last time she was here. Wrapping and old paper. This is another placemat. And I'll try to go a little faster now. This is that onion skin typing paper with the numbers. I thought that'd be fun for Christmas. This is another fabric flip. Fabric packs will be coming too. I'm telling you guys, I have a ton of Christmas yet to list. I didn't get hardly half of it done. Another page from Rudolph. And there's the back. This is the placemat. This is the little cupcake pick I've got to fix, the little red and white polka dot one. This I thought was fun because I had a scrap from that onion skin numbered paper. So I made it like a list. So I can write a list out. I put Dear Santa Define Good, one of the stickers there. I can write the list out and then fold it back up, and it looks like a Santa's list. I thought that was a cute idea. I'm so clever. Sometimes. This is a die cut that Michaels does these kind of die cuts. So does Hobby Lobby every year. And I always pick them up because they're just fun to use for just about anything. Then you're going to see the back side of several things. There's more of that Hallmark bag. This is part of an old roll of packing tape. I think that came from Paper Harbor. I got a lot of these chipboard snowflakes that came in an old vintage punch out nativity set that I'm probably going to list in my shop. So watch for those. I made a little pocket out of it and then put the yo-yo on top. Really, it's not a pocket. It's just kind of a little slip place where you could, I was slipping the tags in there, and then I put a tag up here and then the yo-yo. The rest of the cards. Here's another one of those snowflakes. This label is from Jubilee Flea, I believe. The rest of that letter, and I'm looking for the date. It may have been on the other page, and I just didn't see it. More Tim Holtz. More, this is the rest of that placemat that I've got to fix. This is an old doily, old fabric, and I stitched this green paper on top. More of the vintage stationery that's also in my shop, and then just white paper, tea-dyed paper with a giant piece of red rickrack. Then this is one of my favorite things. If you have not seen this, go look for it. It's Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, but it was printed on a dot matrix printer, and that is so funny to me. And so I just put it in my book and added some of this old polka dot trim that I love. I have a big roll of this. And I just put a little cluster of stuff there on that end of that page. Another coloring page. This is, I love to letter with Crayola, and so I did the part of the man with the bag on there, just playing around. Sometimes I'll just sit and doodle and do that. And a lot of times my planner / notebook is filled up with stuff like that because it's what is calming for me. Actually takes away a lot of anxiety just to doodle with crayons. Here's another pencil board I made. So that helps a lot with writing in this book. Another coloring page. And this is the lyrics to The Darkest Midnight, and it's by Bono and Michael W. Smith. If you've never seen Michael W. Smith in concert at Christmas, I highly recommend it. He is the most talented musician, piano player. His writing is impeccable, and Bono actually speaks these lyrics in the song toward the end of the album, and it's eerily magically sweet, like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's actually the story of the Nativity, and Bono is speaking these lyrics in there. So go find it. It's called The Darkest Midnight. Another book page, another card, a tag, and some receipts, some green stamps in a thank you envelope. More stationery. This is another copy from a Christmas play. I have tons of mimeograph copies, you guys, that I need to list. They're so fun. This is Neiman Marcus wrapping paper, and I have it opening up to where I can write in there. More scrapbook paper, an envelope, and a doily, and more of the Doodlebug design. This is an Anna Griffin Santa tag that I got at TJ Maxx. This is an old Denison package. This is scrapbook paper, and this is scrapbook paper that I fussy cut out the gingerbread houses. And this one is from Hobby Lobby. So this is kind of like a little side tuck there. There's the rest of that. This is some more of the Tim Holtz paper. My favorite number is 5, and so did I staple that in there? I bet you I did. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Anyway, you can see it right there. It is actually a 25 for December, but I think I stapled it in there. This is an old phone dial sticker that you can put on top of a rotary phone to make the numbers larger. And I have more of these. I need to relist those. Then I put that chipboard snowflake on top and the little peppermint die cut. Stationery. This is a label from Hobby Lobby, an old drink label. Coloring page, green paper. There's the rest of that coloring page and another book page from Rudolph. This is a recipe page, and I have it flipping up because on the back I wrote word for word a text message that William's mom sent to all of us after she got back home from Christmas. That was really sweet. There's the rest of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. This is a tag I made with a book from the greatest Christmas pageant ever. And I found these paper dolls on Amazon. I have some really old ones I need to scan. Here's the back on the tea-dyed paper. This is another old drink coaster. And another one that I have not glued in. I was trying to figure out where to put it, I guess. The back of the stationery. These labels came from Boston Bag Lady several years ago. There's several flavors. There's chocolate chip, lemon, red velvet. I can't remember, gingerbread, I think. And she might have those in her shop, possibly. And then there's the end of the signature, and here's the back pocket with the little yo-yo. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun for me to show you the book, and it was nice to be able to talk to you guys on here. I've had so much fun with this. I've been working on it every night, and I've just had so much fun with it. So I hope you enjoy, and you guys have a happy new year, and I hope to be back on here soon. Bye-bye.